Central Catholic was perfect during the regular season, undefeated, but all that was setting the table for this, the opportunity to make another run at the state championship. Welcome to Gallagher Stadium alongside the coach, Tom Cole. I'm Todd Hostetler. Glad you're with us tonight. And Tom, this is the second season, and this is what Central's been waiting for, that chance once again to reach for the states.
Well, Todd, in the playoffs, it's so interesting because it's sudden death every game. It's one and done, win or go home. You don't win, you clean the locker out, and that's it. So you play with a real sense of urgency and physicality. Central has that physicality, so I would look for them. They actually have D1 level physicality. I would look for them tonight to prove that against a real good Olentangy team.
Okay, we got a couple of quarterbacks that are very similar. Both are first-year quarterbacks. For Olentangy Liberty, first-year quarterback had kind of a rough game last week, but he's a good one.
When anybody plays quarterback, Zach Michael, you get a good look at him right now. Junior quarterback, 170 pounds. Anybody plays quarterback has a rough day here and there. Kid threw for 1,333 yards, 12 touchdowns. He's a dual-action guy. By that I mean he can run and throw. Anytime you have a quarterback, big number 1-5, can run and throw, Central's worried about him.
And as I said, kind of a tough week last week, but he came up big at the end when he had to and got his team the win to get them here.
Well, you know, the people that are here, you're in the playoffs because you're good. You know, people don't understand. If they're here in the playoffs, they're here for one reason and one reason only. They're good.
Now, when you talk about Central Catholic, you always have to start with the defense. It has been stingy all season long.
Well, Todd, I would tell you this. I think that their defensive secondary, we've seen them time and time again. The people back there might be the best that we've seen this year as a group. I mean, they can cover the pass. They come up and pressure the quarterback. They can tackle. And, of course, the linebacker position with Mike Merrill is unbelievable, that physicality. So they just have a strong physical defense.
Let's talk about their quarterback, Dave Wallander, very much like Zach Michael. A lot of the numbers are the same, but he's had a great season and gotten better as the year's gone on.
Yeah, very similar numbers, but no one has improved as much as Dave Wallander has from the beginning of the year till now. The ball gets in and out of his hands very quickly. You see him hitting the natural Nate Hobbs there. He hits people on the run. Watch this play, one of the best plays I've seen all year. Stiff arm, making a move against Whitmer, finding his tight end right down the middle for a big score. This young man is a first-class quarterback, and that's part of the reason that Central is in this position. They're perfect, and then they're playoffs. Number 10, Dave Wallander.
Looking for a big game from him and that offense, which has gotten better as a whole as the season's gone on.
Well, the offensive line, Todd, you know, they have such a continuity up there and a physicality. Even though they are youthful, they will slug you out up front.
All right, it's playoff time. That means you expect to see Central. We'll get this one kicked off in a few moments. Coming up next, the Banner Mattress Coach's Corner. Welcome to the Banner Mattress Coach's Corner. I'm joined tonight by Coach Steve Hale, head coach of the Liberty Patriots. Coach, you guys had an exciting game just to get to this point last week. Tell us about that. Come from behind in 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was a pretty amazing thing. We were down 10 points with about 3 minutes to go, and their kid turned the ball over, and our kids, they made a couple amazing plays and got us that victory. And it was also, you know, league championship, and then, you know, sealed the 8th spot in the playoffs. So it was a pretty exciting evening.
You guys have a short history just as a team, only being in existence 6 years. 5th year in a row, though, you guys have made it to the playoffs.
Yeah, we've had some really, you know, good kids that have played hard and really bought into our system. I got great assistant coaches. We come from a community where we have really good people that work hard and do those kinds of things. So our kids, they've worked hard and they've earned a lot of things they've had, and, you know, we've had some great success with that.
What kind of offense you going to run tonight against Central?
Well, it's a little bit, I guess people would call it a spread offense. You know, we're in the shotgun quite a bit, probably more so than under center, and we throw it around a little bit, but I think we're pretty even in the run pass, about 50-50 right now I think I have us as. So, you know, a little bit of misdirection stuff like everybody's running. You know, it's kind of what everybody's doing now. You see on television with the college teams.
Coach, good luck tonight. Thanks for the time.
All right, thank you.
We're going to turn things over to the opposing sidelines with Tom Cole.
Thanks, Todd. We're here with the outstanding head coach of Central Catholic, Mr. Greg Dempsey. Coach, first of all, you got yourself a heck of a night tonight. Have you ever played a playoff game in this kind of weather?
No, if the sun would stay up, we'd be leaving T-shirts on. So this is, you know, pretty fortunate. The weather night should be a great crowd for the game.
All right, Dem. So the people that don't know, let's break down Olentangy a little bit. 7-3. They play in a good conference. They got a QB, running back, a couple guys. Break it down for us.
They're a lot like Whitmer. They have 3 real good skill guys. They're going to spread you out. tighten you up, motion shift, try to get those three to the football. And we better know where they're at all times. One gets loose, it could be the game.
Okay, and how about defensively? Are they conservative? They come after you? What do you expect from them defensively?
Defensively, there's a lot different than we see around here. They're a 3-3 stack team, which probably means nothing to half the people talking, but it's something you don't see around here a lot. Something we have to adjust to. They'll bring some pressure. They're physical up front, and you got to find out early if we understand the blocking adjustments we had to make for this week.
Coach, tell us a little bit about, at this time of year, health of your guys is of great import. What's the health? Who's playing, who's not playing? They're not going to get this, so we won't be giving away any trade secrets.
We have a few guys that are banged up. I mean, that's mostly it. It's a matter of seeing them go tonight, and hopefully they hold up. I think any team that's been through a schedule like ours and the physical nature of the city league, you're going to have some bumps and bruises. We're getting some guys back, actually, which is nice, and hopefully everybody finishes how we start.
Coach Demps, this is one of the most, you've had so many great teams here. Tribute to you, your staff, and your program, but this is one of the most physical central teams that I've been around up front, offensively, defensively, pounding the ball, linebacker position. Is tonight going to be a little bit of let's get after him?
Yeah, we're going to, we let the quarterback sit back there. He's going to pick you apart on the passing game. And running game-wise, they do a lot of different options and things like that, which means we have to get people to football. They run some nice things to counter our strength. We have to get to the football, 11 guys.
Hey, Demps, on behalf of Buckeye Cable, BCSN, we congratulate you and your kids and your program. Go get them tonight. And thanks for all giving us a great show every time we have Central Catholic.
Thanks for all you do. All
right, Demps. We'll be back with more playoff football on BCSN.
This BCSN production is brought to you by the Andersons, more for your home. Dallas GMC, doing business with character. And by Banner Mattress and Furniture.
Welcome back once again to Gallagher Stadium, and you see the fans have come dressed up for the evening, and they are ready for a good,
Greg
we'll
Frankie's dressed up as the Burger King man. I know it was nice of Greg to come out here for us. We appreciate it.
Hey, this is one of those games because it's the second season, Tom.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what happened up till this point. Everyone comes in even. Now you look at the two schools, you look at the records, 10-0 for Central, 7-3 for Liberty. You'd say, well, advantage Central. But Liberty really plays in a tough conference and in an incredibly difficult division.
Yeah, explaining to people, Todd, what playoff football is like, unless you get down on the sideline, and our great camera people will give us some of that feel, but it's a faster game in the playoffs, and there's more intense hitting. And it is a sense of urgency, because if you don't play well, you go home. And you get a good look at Coach Dempsey there. He knows that. Play hard or go home, because this is it. There is no tomorrow. You don't get another opportunity. You don't get a mulligan in the playoffs. And so that's what makes it so difficult. You've got to play well and be prepared right from the get-go.
It probably depends upon the team's character. Last week, Liberty really had that game lost in the last 3 minutes. An amazing comeback to win. Expends a lot of emotion. Does that carry over in a positive way, or does that drain you into that next week?
That's a great point. I think it's positive, but it also takes a lot out of you, and it's difficult to emotionally, week after week, be able to pull those things off. They take a toll after a while. And it's good to be a little lucky sometimes,
That's true, in all aspects of life.
Yeah.
The playoffs are underway as the kickoff is in the air. Messer and McIntosh back, and that is going to take a very fortunate roll that looked like was going to go out of the bounds, which would have been great starting field position for Central. Instead, they will start at their own 20-yard line. There's Zach Messer. Offensive line looks like this: Cameron Bowles, Pippley, Debo, and Doug Williams. Backs and receivers, Henderson, Rogers. He'll see most of his time on the defensive end. Hobbs, Cushell, and Chris Castile. We'll also see Cody Carr playing some tight end. He had the big touchdown against Whitmer.
He's a good tight end. And Pipoli, the center's interesting young man. They entrust him to make a lot of the line calls from the center position. He's kind of like a coach on the field, and he's earned his stripes up there and done a great job for Central Catholic.
First play goes right to Marlin. He gets eaten up. He got right to the line and was pushed back. Let's check out the starting quarterback. That is Wallander, Dave Wallander, as we talked about.
Well, the sky's the limit for Dave. I mean, I cannot express how much this young man has improved from opening day till now. I mean, he is a general. He's a leader. The ball gets in and out of his hands quickly. He's a top-flight quarterback.
High formation, hand off to the second back. That's Morrow. He had a hole for a moment, but it closed up nicely up to the 25-yard line. 3rd and 5. Let's check out the defense. Brought to you by the YMCA and JCC. Hilty, Capretta, and Sean Kennedy up front. Linebackers are Lust, Baker, and Kaskowski. And the secondary, Eggleston, Gaverick, McGarry, Roush, and Cameron Whitner. Watch him on both the offense and the defensive side. He is going to be a big factor in this game.
Yeah, he's quick. Very quick.
3rd and 5, they spread the offense from the shotgun. 3-step drop, looking to his right, across the middle. Messer has a bounce off his hands, and that could have been picked.
And in the playoffs, Todd, the first turnover is a big turnover. The first person that scores a touchdown in the playoffs is a big touchdown. Everything's exaggerated, and that will be a force. Dave forced that ball. There were 2 or 3 defenders around that receiver, and there should have been someone else a little more open. So Dave will look at the film and realize that was a force.
We'll get our first look at Whitner right here as Cameron's going to be back to receive this punt. It's a high punt. Whitner steps up to the 42, makes one move right through the seam. Now he's got a chance to pick up some yards on the outside, gets the corner to the 40, cuts it back inside, got away from a few defenders, up inside the 30, and Liberty's going to start with outstanding field position at the 27-yard line, 28-yard line of Central.
Well, not trying to be a harbinger, but we were talking about Cameron, how quick he is, number 5. And, when a guy is moving and it looks like he's a little bit in slow motion, like Cameron does there, it's because they're running so smoothly that they're that quick, and Cameron has exceptional speed.
Well, he ran right into a bunch of red jerseys, and suddenly he was through them before they could make their move and grab on. Offset eye from the shotgun. Hands it off to the first back through, just plows forward to the 25, look at the 24-yard line. Let's check out the starting quarterback. We talked about Zach Michael, first-year starter.
Yeah, number 15. He's a dual-action guy. We talked about him in the open, looking at a play right now on his wrist. They called it from the bench, and he's checking it on his wrist. And Zach can run and throw over 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns. He's only a junior. He's a leader, and he's a dual threat, which causes defenses problems.
4 yards on that first carry, 2nd and 6, man in motion. And they're going to throw out that way. At the 20-yard line, he'll get the first down, spun around at the 17-yard line, and the catch was made by John Molina. All right, Tom, let's check out the rest of the starters. Offensively, Kaskowski, Bland, Budendorf, Smith, and Shari. Backs and receivers are Lust, Eggleston, Myers, Whitner. You'll see him a lot, and John Molina, who just made that catch.
Yeah, and that last toss was just a little daycare throw. It's an easy pitch and catch, little 3-yard turnout on the sideline.
2 wideouts on the left side from the shotgun, fakes the handoff, keeping it nowhere to run as they string it out. He gets brought down from behind. Nice tackle by Pickerel. Pickerel, we've seen him make some great plays on defense.
Pickerel's he's a big-time defensive player.
Defensively starting for the Central Catholic Fighting Irish, Williams up front with Bowles and Tarrant. Linebackers are Rogers, Morrow, and Pickerel. Hobbs, Messer, Bell, and Eric Bates is the secondary.
Well, that's a read, and they're asking the quarterback to read whether to keep or give, and that time Zach might have made the wrong read. He should have given on that play because it just wasn't there.
Molina's in motion again from the shotgun. Michael looking that direction. He's got a wide open Molina. He makes a move inside, tries to stretch himself out. He'll have the first down much more. It'll be 1st and goal at about the 3-yard line.
Well, Zach Michael, the ball comes out of his hand very quickly. They're running a pro route here. It's called a smash route. And by a smash route, I mean one receiver goes in, the other receiver goes out. It's a 2-set side, and the receiver who turns out is wide open. And Zach gets it out of his hand pretty quick, but that's a smash route.
1st and goal to go. We talked about the stoutness of the Central defense. They will have to step up right now. Handoff, second back through. No, it's a keeper by the quarterback, Michael. He tiptoes across, and he's got the first touchdown. And that first all-important score of this playoff game goes to the Patriots.
Well, I got to tell you, Central Catholic looks like they've been punched in the solar plexus here. They look stunned. They look like, geez, who are these guys? It's like Butch Cassidy. Who are these guys? They're a good football team, and Central will have to regroup, get with the tempo and the pace of the game. They look a little slow. They look a little not quick, and they're going to have to pick their tempo up a little bit because this is a good football team.
The extra point is up, and it's good. So with 8:44 left to go, Central's going to look for an answer after the touchdown by Michael, 7-0. Olentangy Liberty on top. Welcome back once again to Central Catholic. Tom, let's go back to the Whitmer game that you and I did. Central Catholic started much like this. They looked a little flat in the first half.
Well, you know, it's the playoffs is getting used to the pace of the game. Playoffs is a fast-paced game, and Olentangy came out here and playing that pace. Central didn't. So they've been punched a little bit. Now they've got to react, get to the pace, and pick this thing up and get a drive going.
Another great kickoff as that drives Zach Messer all the way back about 5 yards deep in the end zone. So for the second time in a row, Fighting Irish will start their own 20-yard line, and they need to do something aside from a 3-and-out as they saw in their first possession.
Everything you do in the playoffs is exacerbated, Todd. You know, if you make a mistake, it's a bigger mistake. If you have a penalty, it's a bigger, penalty. Everything is blown out of proportion, so you've got to play with the tempo and pick it up and play fast.
Full house backfield. They do give tomorrow. He plows forward. Looking about 6 yards on that first down carry. That's a much nicer way to start this drive than the last one where he picked up maybe a yard.
Yeah, Mike is, we've talked about him so much. Brad Rogers has that high ankle sprain, is only playing on the defensive side of the ball supposedly tonight. So big number 9. You know, we talked about it when he runs into the line and you give him an initial crease, he's going to move that pile going the other way. He's so big and so strong.
Again, they stay with that full house backfield. As if tomorrow, he steps inside, gets pushed around, slides forward. He'll be close to and probably, it's going to be very close to a first down. I think he will get it.
Well, and Coach Demps is saying with these, he's running these little inside tight ISOs with Mike Morrow. And the offensive line coached by Tommy Santora is doing a nice job. What Coach Demps is saying, reverse pivot, see him run up inside, nice 66. Give him some props on the lead. That's a nice lead. And Coach Demps says, all right, you punch us, we're going to punch you in the mouth right now. We'll run some tight ISOs with a 250-pound back.
That was Chris Castillo, number 66. There's Morrow again. They open up a big hole. He gets stood up. What a great one-on-one stop. That was Ben Roush. That is taking on a load.
I give Roushy credit. He's squaring up on Mike Morrow, number 9. Watch this.
You might think twice about this next time.
Mike takes it off tackle. Oh my God. Trick or treat, and is there early. I tell you what, that's no Snickers bar. That's a big-time football hit. Oh, my God.
I think Morrow expected just plow right on through.
Oh, my.
Morrow gets tripped up as he tried to make his cut to the left side. He'll get a couple of yards on that. Second down and 8.
Mike is such a physical runner, number 9, Mike Morrow. When they give him a crease, whether they're running a boom-off tackle, which is just double-teaming the defensive tackle, kicking out the end and having a lead back, or running a tight ISO with a lead, and he gets that momentum going, he is a punisher. I mean, there's just no question about it.
Second and 8, they stay with that full house backfield. Cody Carr, tight end, just off the line on the right side. Gives it right back to Morrow one more time, and he pushes his way through. He gets tripled right near the first down marker. And you and I talked before about Morrow. The more you give him the ball,
the stronger he gets, and the more difficult it is to bring him down. They're in the power eye. They're just running a little tight ISO with a lead. This looks like a Texas rodeo. I mean, you get 4 or 5 guys trying to bring Mike down. I mean, once Mike gets into the second level, when he gets into the secondary, he's just too big and too strong. I mean, he really is. He's just a very gifted young man.
Third down and 1 yard to go. There's Morrow one more time. Easy first down, still on his feet, and he just takes a defender with him to the 40-yard line. 10-yard pickup on that 3rd and 1.
Well, these are the kind of drives. I really respect what Coach Demps is doing here. This is another little tight inside ISO with a lead. Look at that. Their heads going backwards here because Mike, I really respect what Coach Demps is doing here. He said, okay, you stung us. Okay, we're going to get in the power eye, and we're bringing a big fella, and we're going to run the ISO, and we're going to hurt some people. And this is a change of attitude drive, I want to tell you.
This has been the same play every play on this drive, and that time they do slow down Morrow before you get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, Todd, the only way that you're going to stop a back like Mike Morrow in high school with that kind of size and agility with a good offensive line in front of him is to get him before he gets going. You get him at the line of scrimmage before he gets that momentum build up. If he gets past the linebackers and into the second level, it's going to be a rodeo ride from that point forward. You got to get him before he gets going.
Second down and 10. On the play action, they did get it off to Morrow, and again, he got stopped. That was a nice Nice defensive play one more time by Olentangy Liberty. Hey, your favorite local sports are now available online with BCSN Vision. This new service allows you to view live coverage of the events online as the action unfolds. Better yet, for those of you that are Buckeye Express customers, you can enjoy BCSN Vision for free. Visit www.bcsn.tv and see how you can get online with BCSN.
Give the Patriots credit, Todd, the last 2 running attempts. They got to Mike Morrow before he got going. They played some real good defense and whipped him at the line of scrimmage.
There's the play action. Wallander going deep, looking for Kuchel. He's going to overthrow Kuchel as he got tied up defensively with Eggleston. And that really slowed him down off of his route.
Well, the
pass was overhead.
I'm sorry, Todd. It was a nice scheme. They made a little fake, came out a little bit, and they had a 2-level pass. Watch this. Here's a little fake. Dave comes outside. It's a 2-level pass, and that is somebody deep. That's the deep level. Then there was an underneath man. Dave took a shot at the deep guy and just missed him.
They made a statement on offense by picking up 2 first downs. Now their defense has to make a statement here as they get good field position, hopefully pinning Liberty deep. And it is going to pin them deep as it hits at the 10, went straight up in the air, came right back down on the 10, rolled, and stuck right to the 10. It's as though there was a magnet on the 10-yard line.
Well, these artificial surfaces are so great now, especially the one here at Gallagher and the one at Whitmer, UT, BG, that they're so natural. They look natural. They're soft like grass that you can deaden the ball on them. In the old days, if you would have punted that on one of the old carpets, it would have bounced 27 yards into the Lane's drugstore, across the street. I mean, it's just the surface is terrific.
Second drive for Liberty and the Patriots. They start their own 10-yard line. And the timeout's going to be called by Central Catholic. 4:37 left to go in the first quarter. We'll come back. Round number 1 of the playoffs. Liberty on top, 7-0. Talked about the big plays and how important they are earlier. Right there, you see one of the big plays, a turnover that Central picks up.
Yeah, very disappointing to the Patriots. They had a real nice inside seam running play for a good gain, looked like about 10 or 11 yards. Didn't have ball security. The ball came out. You get a good look at it here. Yep, up inside. See, there's the nice, and it just didn't secure the ball. I mean, you're running up inside. That's one of the first things that you teach your backs is when you're running inside, you can be hit from the right or the left, so you're going to have to get the other hand on top of the ball. It just was bad ball security.
And that was Brad Rogers that knocked that ball loose on defense. So they start the 25-yard line. They stay in the same formation. Play action. Going down for Henderson. That's going to be Pickerel has it, and the flag comes down inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Pickerel's a player. I love the call. It was double tights, power eye right, make a little play action fake, and Wallander was able to find Pickerel on the corner. And he even caught the ball, even though they interfered. David's saying, okay, hey, you interfered with me, but you know what? I caught the ball anyways. Power eye, here's a fake. And Dave's looking for 48. He's got him on the corner, and the DB got into him. He did drop it between his legs, and they called the interference. That's a tough call. I mean, he was kind of there almost instantaneously, but Central got a break, and actually 2 breaks. You get the fumble, and then you get the call. Sometimes in the playoffs, it's good to have good fortune because that's a tough call. He was there pretty close to being legal.
There's the pitch to Morrow. He makes a cut back inside. He'll get inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line.
I hear rumblings about Mike. Everyone knows that Mike's going to Alabama. His father's an excellent coach at the University of Toledo, big number 9, and that they're really looking at him more as a linebacker. But I'll tell you, we've been privileged to watch him run, Todd. And I'm, his agility, his ability to cut at the hole for a big man. You get a good look at number 9. I'll take another look at him at running back.
He sees data.
Yeah,
he can put it into a different gear.
Yeah, he's very gifted.
And Morrow gets a nice block. He's got the corner. He's going to just carry that in. They try to spin him around, but Morrow's got the touchdown answering the initial score by Liberty. And Central's right back. It is 7-6 with the PAT upcoming.
Yeah, and credit the left side of the line for the Fighting Irish, the big uglies, the fat guys up front. Watch him. You get a pull here by 56. Nice job, 56. Let's give him some props. That's a nice pull, Todd. Real nice pull. Tom Santora has great line schemes. These linemen pull and block so gosh darn well.
That was Chad Debo.
Yeah, give Chad some credit. That was a nice pull.
Burkhardt looking to tag on the extra point and tie this with 3:47 to go. And that kick is perfect. So 3:47 left to go in the first quarter. We are tied at 7 on BCSN. Well, Tom, after that big answer by Central Catholic, once again, we'll see if the defense can come up strong, but they were perfect on that last drive. One play, get the turnover, set up your offense.
And Todd, that's how you become a good playoff team. When you get punched in the solar plexus, you turn around. They got in double tights, a power eye, and they brought the big man hard on the boom and the inside ISO and punished a little bit, and they made a nice little play action fake, got somebody out in the edge, and Wallander made a nice throw. It was a punishing drive. It was an attitude adjustment drive, because that drive said to the Patriots, hey, this is going to be a physical game, and you're going to be tackling number 9 all night long, and that can change some attitudes.
Burkhardt sends that deep. Whitner is there, stepping in front to take it away at the 10-yard line. Is Merlina. He's up to the 20. It gets plowed under at the 22-yard line.
It's a good look at Chad Debo. We were talking, Todd, about the ability for the central linemen to pull. They're so good at it. They're taught well. Watch these linemen get out. See, and that's a technique. You see how quick? Boy, is that cool. Do you see how quick he got out of the stance, made the pull, got the block, and, of course, then big number 9 goes into the end zone. Very cool. That's a great skilled pull there, Chad.
Those are the subtleties you miss because most people just watch number 9.
Oh, man.
Eyes on number 9.
That was good. Great camera shot, guys. Thank you.
First down. Michael, play action, gets a little pressure, lofts it across the middle. There's Whitner. It's going to be knocked away by Grant. What a great job. Great defensive play by Eric Bates.
Well, you know what Batesy did here? Old EB, he saved a touchdown. And if Zach Michael gets this up, he's 1 count slow. So he's a half a count slow. Whitner had him beat, and he had to wait on the ball. If Zach gets that ball up a count sooner, that's a touchdown. But give old Eric Bates, EB, credit. He made a touchdown-saving play there.
Second down and 10. They employ their spread offense. Michael fakes the pitch, and he gets taken under. He was swarmed under back inside the 20, so that'll be a 3-yard loss for Zach Michael.
Well, old Zach's going to look over on his wristband, and he's going to look to the sideline to his head coach, Steve Hale, and he's going to say, Coach, that play on my wrist is number 12.
I'm taking that one off.
Can we not run that play again, because it wasn't there, and I got racked up pretty good.
Using the Sharpie, crossing that one off.
Scratch number 12 off the wristband, because that play was no good.
Now looking at 3rd and 12. So this is the first time they've had to have a 3rd and long play. 2 runners in the backfield, man in the slot. Again, fakes the handoff, looking to his left, takes his time. That was going to be picked off. Once again, Eric Bates, 2 huge plays on this drive by Bates, and 2 turnovers in the last 2 drives for Liberty.
Well, you know what EB did that time? We get a real good look at number 14. We got a great camera shot of it. Eric Bates baited Zach Michael to throw the ball. He saw where it was going. It was a turnout in the sideline. He laid off of it for a second until Michael decided to turn it loose, and then he closed on the ball. He had it all the way. He baited him into throwing it, and Bates grabbed it, and that's a big turnover.
Now, coming off that turnover, they scored on that last turnover. If they can score on this turnover, that really turns
Absolutely,
the
because the playoff is all about emotion, Todd, and it's that up-down and how you react to it.
Henderson and Morrow. There's play action again. Lots of time for Wallander. He rolls out to the right, still has time, puts it in the air, back across the middle, looking for Kushel, and just threw it a little bit behind him. Kushel was open at the 5-yard line.
Well, the average guy sitting in the stands looking at that, and they're saying, oh, Dave, hey, you missed him, and you should have had him eating his Pepsi and his hot dog. Doesn't realize what a great play this was. There was nothing there for the first look. Dave rolled to the right, bought a little bit of time. See, he's buying time. He went to his 3rd read to find this guy. There's not many high school kids going to a 3rd read. 80 was the 3rd read, and he just missed the pass, but it was a great opportunity to get to the 3rd guy. 2nd
and 10, again, Henderson and Morrow behind. They give to Henderson. Henderson forces his way, still moving the pile forward inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and about 7 yards to go on that carry by Henderson.
Yeah, they run that quick little trap. It's kind of interesting. Coach Demps and and Coach Fote, and you get a good look at Coach Demps again. They're running that Dick Cromwell trap. I'm going to have to talk to Demps about that. Croms might want residuals on that thing. It's that quick, real quick fullback trap that Coach Cromwell has run so successfully for such a long time.
All right, 3rd and 7 deep in Liberty territory. All Central spreads it out. Wallander from the shotgun, Morrow in the backfield with him. Looks to his left, has time. Going toward the sideline, this will be picked off the other way, and then shoved out of bounds right away. As quickly as they got it, they gave it right back. That was intended for Brandon Willis. And that's a real momentum killer.
Well, Caleb Goings picked that off, and he did the same thing that Eric Bates did. He read the play. See, those are film reads, Todd. They know the routes, and they recognize them, and it's called, what that is called, it's called jumping the route. When you recognize the route, you take a risk. You jump the route, and he jumped the route just like Eric Bates did, and really that could have gone a long way. They're lucky that didn't go down the sideline.
Right. That was my first thought when I saw that. And right up the middle they go. That is Alan Eggleston, tailback. He'll get a couple of yards.
And you know what you do, Todd, when people are jumping routes? As an offensive coordinator, when I see the DBs, now Central's jumped the route, the Patriots have jumped the route. If I'm the coordinator, when I see that, what I do, my next call in the passing game is a double break. In other words, I'll fake the sideline, let you jump the route, and then I'm going downtown on you. So you look for some double cuts here coming.
And Wallander has had that kind of time in the pocket. That
absolutely,
can do that.
Absolutely, yes.
There's the handoff. Nice move by Clay Lust. He's got the first down. He'll be up near the 40-yard line. And a nice cut once he got into the center. A couple of very nice runners with Clay Lust and Alan Eggleston. And that gives him a little bit more breathing room.
Well, Clay Lust, he looks like an oak tree. I mean, oak tree in cleats. I mean, he runs straight up and down. He's a big guy.
Ran for over 500 yards on the season. Molina's in motion. Last 2 times he's done that, he was open. Looking that way is Michael one more time, and it's there once more. Molina, he'll get a first down as well. The ball's on the ground, and I think Liberty got it back.
Well, the people watching here in the stands at Gallagher and at home on BCSN are going to say, well, why? These are good teams. Why is the ball coming out like this? I'll tell you exactly. It has nothing to do with nerves. I'll tell you exactly what it is the hitting is quicker. The impacts are coming quicker. People are moving faster. So, you're going to lay the ball on the turf. It's a quicker paced game in the playoffs. But I'll tell you, that turnout route that the Patriots are running, Central hasn't covered it yet.
Right.
I mean, it's been pretty open, that quick turnout. They're going to have to roll somebody up into that.
They'll measure for the first down. It did look like he got it. We'll see what the chain gang says. And it is going to be a first down. That is the 4th first down here in the first quarters. We're under 1 minute to go in the first. Steve Hale is the head coach for Liberty, and Steve was talking to us before. Right there you see him. That's quite impressive to have a program only in its 6th year of existence.
Yeah.
In 5 years, they've gone to the playoffs.
Well, Olentangy's divided up now into 3 schools, and can you imagine the talent, that they have to be able to put.
Here comes Rogers. Rogers is going to get a big sack back to the 35-yard line. Good to see Brad Rogers back in, and he gets a sack to make an exclamation point for his return.
Well, people watching 39 Brad Rogers, and you watch him get a big-time sack here, they might be wondering, why isn't he, if he's playing on defense and he's healthy enough to play defense at linebacker, why isn't he playing running back too? Because on defense, it's more straight angle, start and stop. So he's had that high ankle sprain, so that's going to be less wear on that ankle. When you're running the ball, it's sideways, and that puts the stress on the ankle. So defense will be easier for him to play tonight.
First quarter's in the books. Zach Michaels scored for Liberty, and then Central answered. We've played 1. It is tied at 7 on BCSN. Welcome back once again. And BCSN crew gets into the spirit of the night.
Absolutely. They do a great job. That's a cool shot.
Second down, 22 yards to go after that sack by Brad Rogers. Michael gives the handoff. We'll get back maybe 5-6 of those yards. It's Clay Lust up near the 40.
You know, Todd, the Liberty Patriots are running an interesting version of the spread. They have a full, what would be a traditional I formation offset back with the quarterback in the shotgun, and it's you don't see that often. It's an interesting version, and it gives very often it gives the running back, who's certainly a lead blocker, right in front of him.
Third and long, you see Whitner. He's right at the bottom of your screen. That's the guy to watch, as they have to pick up a lot of yardage. But instead, going the other way is Michael. Lofts it to Lust. Good job by Lust to get the handle. He got a good move, and then he got close to the first down. He will be a yard shy. But on 3rd and 19, Clay Lust picks up 18 yards.
Clay Lust is a good-looking back. He made a great catch in the pass. He was a little tough to handle. Watch this little sprint. Little underneath cookie jar throw. Boy, that's big time. That's big time. He had to go up with one hand, tip it back to himself, catch it, and then turn upfield. That, a college scout looking at that in Division II, Division III, would say, hey, this young man can play some football. That's a big-time catch.
How hard is that to keep the concentration on that? Because when you tip it up to yourself and you got to come down, you know that someone's going to be closing in sometime.
Absolutely.
And you are vulnerable.
Somebody's looking to say hello to you.
Got 11 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the half. BCSN and WTOL Sports have joined together in a unique and historic alliance to form the T Sports Report. Now, the T offers fans an inside look at local sports unlike any station in Toledo. So plan to join Dan Cummins, Jordan Strack, and Jim Heller for 90 minutes of hard-hitting highlights tonight from the area schools. It all starts at 10:30 every Friday night. Tune in to the T Sports Report.
Yeah, the guys are doing a great job. It's certainly fun to watch, and I think it's revolutionized sports at night on TV, and of course there's
Jordan,
who's worked very, very hard to make that happen and done an absolutely fantastic job. And of course Ken Watlington and Natalie Bryce.
Looks like Jordan had that presidential wave going.
He did. It looked a little Nixon-esque to me, though. I don't know how sincere it was. I have to talk to Jordan about that.
All right, 4th down and 1. The Patriots will go for it inside Central Territory. Zach Michaels got some pressure. Tarrant almost got him, dumps it off, right back up. It's going to be very close. I think he got enough to get the first down. They went way back just to come forward and get the first down.
This is a mix-up. This is an odd play. I've experienced this enough to know that this ball was snapped before Zach was ready for that ball to be snapped. Did you notice that he was not expecting that? Kept his composure. Zach Michael found the outlet man. And then, you know, as an outlet guy, you got to be a chain runner. By a chain runner, I mean you know where the chain is. You know, don't go sideways, left, right. Put your shoulder down, put your head down, and get the first down. That's a good play.
That's exactly what Alan Eggleston did. And they keep the drive going. Lean in motion again. Takes the inside handoff, gets the dump off, just laid it out in front of Eggleston.
That's
he
a forward
tried
pass. Yeah.
And Eggleston tried to see if he could pick up the extra yardage on that.
Zach Michaels, not Houdini, but he tries to pull one off here on Halloween. That's a pass. That's a forward pass. That play, they've tried, you know, that's that play number 12 we're talking about on the wristband. They maybe should 86 that play because, Zach Michael does not look comfortable running that play.
He does not.
He looks like he wants no part of the option coming down there.
And given the way it's looked coming at him, you can see why he feels that way.
It does not. They're running the speed option out of the gun with a full eye. That's a tough thing to do.
2nd and 10, play action, looking to his right. He's got Whitner. Whitner has the first down the sideline, still on his feet as he's tripped up just outside the 25-yard line. That is the 4th first down on this drive. Well, Central Catholic, when they forced the turnover, that first turnover, they scored on it. And now, the Patriots looking off that pick they got.
Look at how quick. Well, that's a great camera shot. Do you see how quickly the passing arc that Zach Michael had? It's compact. See, it's compact. Gets out of his hands very quickly. And then Whitner comes as advertised. He's fast.
2 wideouts on the left side, I formation, and a wing back as well. Whitner from the shotgun. Hands it off. That's Eggleston. Eggleston has the first down. Still pushing forward. Finally brought down, dragged down, and then a little help over the top by David Gant. And that's a big first down, and it brings up 1st and goal.
Well, this different type of spread offense that the Patriots are running has confused the Irish a little bit. This is a trap. A little quick interior trap. We just just missed the back end of the trapper there, running north-south, and really have confused the Irish a little bit on defense.
And you saw him dragging Mike Bell until Gant was able to come finish him off. First and goal to go from the 8. 2 wideouts on the left. They give the ball to Eggleston. He gets right back. Maybe a little bit more past the line of scrimmage, but not on that first down play by Eggleston.
You know what Coach Hale did on the sideline for the Liberty Patriots? He said, you know, that play worked so well. Let's run that play again. And he ran the same play, but this time Central played anti-trap, closed it down. By anti-trap, I mean, if you're a down person on defense and nobody blocks you, that means the trap's coming. So that means you get down low and wait for the trap because it's coming.
Second and goal from the 8. Whitner in motion. The handoff directed to him. Cuts it back inside. Numnick's cut outside, and that allowed time for the defense to catch up and bring him down to 5. Third and goal to go at the 5-yard line.
Well, Cameron Whitner was a very quick back, number 5, but Cameron made a cut mistake there. If he would have influenced inside and raced to the edge, I think he would have beaten the defenders to the edge. I think he could have, he'd still be running.
Third down and 5 yards to go for Pay Dirt. Into the game is John Freeland as one of the wideouts. First time we've seen him tonight. And I'll tell you what, they use a lot of people on offense. We've seen a lot of numbers in there. There's that offset eye from the shotgun you were talking about. Zach Michael, man in motion is Whitner. They give to Eggleston. Eggleston gets stood up, fell forward, and he'll be at about the 3-yard line where it brings up 4th and about 2.5 yards to go for Pay Dirt.
Well, they believe in this trap with the Eggman, Eggleston. You see this, it's the same trap. It's the 3rd time they've run it on this drive, and I'll tell you what, I see why they believe in it. They can still get the trap block inside. They get good push. It's a good-looking play for them.
And they're going to try for the field goal. This will be from the 10-yard line, a 20-yard field goal attempt. It is up, it looks good, and it is. So 7:41 remains in the first half of this playoff game between Liberty and Central. It is 10-7. Liberty Patriots will kick it off after that field goal of 20 yards, gave them the 3-point advantage. Messer, Zeke McIntosh, and Hollins all back to receive this kick, and the last 2 have been in the end zone. Kick is in the air. It's going to bounce in front of Messer. He picks it up at the 10. He's going to go back towards the middle, gets a block, but he's cut off at the 15, still on his feet. Makes a nice move to free himself, dives forward, still on his feet as he cuts it back in, but they're going to say his knee was down at the 20-yard line. There's Dane Sanzenbacher. He was here for the championship year, and they're enjoying the first round of the playoffs for his Central Catholic.
He's here with the principal, and Mike Coucher, the outstanding principal at Central Catholic, and what a fine job Dane's doing at Ohio State. Congratulations to him. I always thought about Dane, as great an athlete as he was, and you get to know him. He's a better person than he was athlete. That I think speaks volumes. He's just a quality class guy.
Had a very good game against Penn State.
Yep,
Unfortunately,
sure
they couldn't get enough points, but
he's going to he'll have a very nice career there.
That's McIntosh, and McIntosh always gives him a different look at that speed, but he gets corralled and run down. Give him a half yard.
Well, old 54 for, unfortunately for the Liberty Patriots, is going to have to go out of the game. He filled the ISO hole there, and he looked like he got a little bit of a stinger. They're going to have to.
So 7-12. Left to go in the half. Well, Central's used to being here in the playoffs.
Yep.
As we know, they had the state championship. Let's look back at the playoffs the last couple of years for the Fighting Irish. Talked about that first year against Canfield.
Yep.
We'll see the championship.
31-29. Nice long. Piqua the following year. Nice, pretty good quarterback fake there.
And they struggled against Piqua.
Yeah, Piqua was a good club. Very good club.
And that team had Piqua's
been a little bit of a bugaboo for him. But again, you know, when you watch this past highlight tape of the playoffs, look at the speed of the game. And the speed of the game is so quick. It's just the playoffs are dynamic. The hitting and the intensity and the speed. It's speed play after speed play.
And after that state championship 2 years ago, they've lost in the first round.
Yeah, Pick was tough. Pick was a very, very good football player.
I'd like to get past that this year. Here's Wallander. He's got some time. Throws it coming back in was Bates. And he threw that into a crowd. Bates would not have had the first down, but it was a dangerous pass.
Well, Dave had it on target, but what Eric did, he did the right thing. He came back to the quarterback so it wouldn't be picked off. But what sometimes receivers make a mistake, they put their right hand over in front on top, and the right hand actually pushes the ball down, and that's what Eric did that time. He didn't have his hands in the correct receiving position for that comeback route.
Adams has a punt. That is a high punt. That's going to drop Whitner all the way back inside the 40. He's going to let it bounce, and it's a touchdown for the Fighting Irish at the 37-yard line. So the Patriots go back on offense. Their last drive was a long drive off that interception, and they took it to 5 first downs on their last drive to get themselves in position for that field goal.
Well, if anybody was wondering whether Olentangy was much of a football team, you can quit wondering. They're a real good football team, and we've seen diversity on the offense. They can run inside with a trap game. They can get outside on the edge. They can throw the football very well. This spread is a different look. It's the I formation offset in the spread, which I would imagine that Central hasn't seen much this year of that.
Looking to the left, once again, Merlina. He makes a nice cut as he did a 360. He'll pick up like 5-6 yards on that first down reception. Merlina is always open.
Yeah, that cut, for whatever reason in the coverage, this quick cut on the outside, this quick turnout has been open. And Zach Michael didn't make a great throw there. That's really one of those cookie jar throws or a daycare throw. It's one you got to hit, 10 out of 10, but he didn't get enough salsa on that ball. But that pass has been open all night long.
And spread that offense. 4 receivers, they hand it off Eggleston. He punches his way forward for the first down right up to midfield.
The Eggman runs pretty hard. Eggleston, it's important as a running back to know what you are. And Eggleston, number 37, you get a good look at him there. The Eggman knows he's a straight-ahead guy. He's not going to be a shake and bake left, right, sideways. He's running traps and he's running 0 ISO plays where he's getting right up inside there and going north-south. He's a pretty hard runner.
Both Whitners, Jason and Cameron in. Also Merlina. He's with Cameron on the right side. On the option, keeper by Michael. Now he pitches it off. Eggleston's got a lot of room in front of him. He's up to the 35, heads toward the sideline, piled up off the sideline at the 25-yard line. And that was a huge gainer of about 23 yards.
Well, you remember we kept telling that Zach Michael to not run that play because he wasn't comfortable with it. This time, it's the same play. It's a speed option out of the gun, but he didn't have somebody in his face. He made the first person miss. And once he made the first person miss, he was able to option the next guy, which led to a big play on the pitch. That was just a speed option. He made the first guy miss and then made a deep pitch.
5:06 left to go in the half, and that was already the 9th first down of this half.
Play calling for the Patriots has been superb. You can sense they've kept Central Catholic off balance, and they've kind of taken away the physicality of Central Catholic.
Yes,
because they've spread them out. I think Central's looking at these formations and not reacting. They're kind of looking.
Play action. Here comes the pressure. Tarrant, he gets away. Michael gets away. He's still got a lot of pressure. Then he makes the toss in front and a big hit at the 22-yard line. That's a nice play by Michael to pick up some yardage on that one. It looked like he might lose yardage. Made the pitch to Murphy.
Well, watch this. Zach Michael's pretty gosh darn good. They had him there for a sack. He gets away. Then he does the Doug Flutie deal here. A little forward pitch. That's heads up. That's savvy in football. You can't teach that. You don't tell a quarterback, gee, if you get in that situation, flip it forward like Doug Flutie did. That's just a savvy thing that you do because you're aware and you have presence.
Tarrant was the one putting the pressure on him, and already 1 sack tonight for Central. Tarrant is the leading sacker for Central Catholic so far this year with 9 sacks on the season. He'd have loved to have made that in double digits right there. Instead, it's 2nd and 7.
And if I was the Patriots, I'd keep more people in the block now because I would think Central Catholic is going to send some people and really try to disrupt this offense.
under the center, gives to Eggleston. Nope, it's the pitch outside. That is Whitner. Whitner's down the sideline. He gets shoved out at about the 7-yard line. It's going to be another first down on a brilliant play by the Patriots.
Yeah, their execution offensively, Todd, I think you're absolutely spot on. Their execution has been terrific. Play calling is excellent. Ball faking is good. The execution is terrific. Again, this is a very good football team.
And they have another first and goal at the 7-yard line. Zach Michael, we talked about him struggling last week in the season finale that they had to win. 2 turnovers early, but he came up big in the second half when they had to get points on the board. And he's looking to get his team out in front. They're going to call timeout with 4:01 left to go. They lead 10-7. We've got the final 4:01 to go in the half coming up on BCSN. Central Catholic defense has kept them undefeated all season long. They have to stand up big right here. First and goal to go. Gives it to Whitmer. Whitner gets the corner, and he speeds right through 2 defenders into the end zone to open this up to a potential 10-point advantage.
Remember when we said 2 or 3 plays ago that Cameron Whitner made a poor read because he could have gotten to the edge with his speed? Well, this time Cameron makes a great read. It's an outside stretch play to the edge, and Cameron doesn't look to take this inside. He's going outside all the way, and he just physically outruns the defense. I mean, he has that kind of speed.
Well, Liberty calls a timeout before the extra point, which is a bit of a surprise. 3:56 left to go. Hey, tune in to Inside the Red Zone, gang. Weekdays, Wednesdays at Joe Reknowski, Matt Davis, and Mike Jewell all head to the area of football practices. The guys are going to take a look at all the week's highlights and then break down all the big games and the big matchups coming up. It's Inside the Red Zone. It airs Wednesdays at 6 o'clock on BCSN.
Yeah, the fellas have done a great job.
Absolutely.
It's been a terrific season for them.
They've got to be sad as we are that we know that there's only a number of weeks left in this football season.
Yeah, and speaking of sad, Coach Dempsey saying, well, hey, fellas, but, he's not going to panic. Coach is I think he's the winningest coach in the last 5 years in the City League as far as percentage. He's had an incredible record, state championship, city titles. He's never going to panic, but he's looking at the scoreboard right now and saying, hey, fellas, if you haven't figured it out, this is a pretty good football team we're playing. So let's get it going now, and let's start playing some ball.
After the timeouts, there's only 1 timeout left for this half for Liberty. They'll try to tack on the extra point. Low snap, but the kick is true. And with 3:56 left to go in the half, it is now 17-7. The Patriots on top of the Fighting Irish off this score by Cameron Whitner on BCSN. Well, Central Catholic, Tom, still has 4 minutes to get something going, get some points back on the board before the half, and try to regain control of momentum, which has definitely gone towards the Patriots.
Hey, no panic. It's not a panic scenario here. This is a great Central Catholic football team. They're terrifically coached. They've got a great team. They've had a phenomenal season, but they've been punched a couple times in the solar plexus here, and the champions that they are, they will react. And it's just getting your feet underneath you again, and you got 3:56, get another drive going here and get on the board.
And we saw this again when they played Whitmer. They fell behind against Whitmer, and it looked like they did have that hit in the solar plexus. Let's go back to that TD.
Well, Todd, there's an axiom in football that speed kills. This is a speed play. I mean, this is a guy that just outruns the set. He's just, from A to B, he's just quicker than the people that are chasing him in that particular situation.
Well, we had a whole lot of steady diet of Morrow on the first 2 drives, and then he was not even in on the last drive. Obviously, it looks like you would expect we'll see much more of that because they were very successful, rolled off a couple of first downs on their 1 drive. And Wallander, as I say that, goes to the air, looking towards the sideline, behind Michelle. Talk about Mike Marrow and what a great season he has had this year.
Yep.
And there's a proud dad.
Yes, his father's an excellent coach at the University of Toledo, doing a terrific job. And I believe he coaches tight ends, but double check that, but I think so. And, very often coach's sons are very, very good football players because they grow up in the vernacular of football. They understand the ways of the football, and they're in the locker room at a young age. They're around the game. Nothing really, awes them about the game because they're around it.
What a great move by Wallander to free himself, and then he throws it behind Messner, who was cutting across the middle at the 30, which will make it now 3rd down and 10. Yeah, Wallander has really shown his ability to avoid the sack.
Yeah, well, Dave is really a mobile quarterback. He's a terrific signal caller. But Central needs to get their rhythm back. I think because the Patriots possessed the ball for a long period of time, it kind of left Central on the sideline, and they don't have that offensive rhythm. They need to establish a rhythm again offensively. 3rd
and 10. There's the handoff to Morrow. Morrow got through the first wave, but he gets brought down by the linebacking core across the 25 to the 26-yard line. It's now going to be 4th down and still 4 yards to go, so they will kick it away. Unfortunately, they're going to put the ball right back in the hands of the Patriots, and their offense has been moving very smoothly and efficiently.
Well, if you look at the Olentangy team and the number of snaps they've had in the first half, the time of possession they've had in the first half, what that's done is kind of discombobulated Central a little bit.
Mishandled that snap, and he was lucky to get that one off, and then takes a very nice roll. Whitmer takes it on one bounce, and he gets caught from behind, and he still almost eluded that tackle. But again, good field position for the Patriots at their own 46-yard line with 3:03 to go in the half.
Well, there's a lot of time on the clock, and what Central Catholic is going to have to be very cognizant of. Todd, as you get a good look at Whitmer, who's shown us a lot tonight with his quickness and his football skills and ability. They can't give up a touchdown here. I mean, a touchdown would be devastating going in at halftime. So they're going to have to play tough. They're going to have to tighten it down a little bit defensively and start taking some things away from Olentangy, because they really haven't taken too many things away. They're going to start taking some things away.
Doubles on the left side. That's Eggleston in motion. Zach Michael rolls out to the left. Drops it off to Lust, and that's a good open field tackle, but a good pick him for 5 yards before a pick roll brought him down.
Well, we've seen that play before. It's just, it's an old West Coast play. It's old-time football, just sifting the back out right underneath the linebacker coverage, and he finds a little open area there and creates a window for the quarterback to drop the ball, and Lust's got good hands for a big man. He catches the ball well.
2nd down and 5. Zach Michael. Here comes the pressure, and he gets away from it again. Falls forward for the 1st down as he was stumbling. He might be a little bit shy. It looks like he'll be about a yard shy. But right now, everything is just breaking perfectly for the Patriots. Even it looked like a sack.
Yep, and it was. I thought it was going to be a sack, and give Zach Michael 15 credit because he got up inside the crease before the pressure could get to him. But I think that's the right move on Central Catholic. Pressure him, make him a little uncomfortable because he's a very good quarterback.
Again, working from the eye. Eggleston's behind him. Hands it off to Eggleston. He's got the 1st down easily. Still on his feet as he tried to make the cut. Stood up and dropped at the 40-yard line.
Well, Eggleston's running that quick little trap up inside, and it has been very effective. 37. It's it's an old Pittsburgh guy. Coach Cromwell will probably be mad at me, but it didn't originate with Coach Cromwell. It's an old Pittsburgh Steeler trap the Steelers used to use all the time. And Chuck Noll, actually.
Michael, deep drop. Now he steps into the pocket. He's going to tuck it away. Gets a nice block. Then gets the corner. Turns on the afterburners, and he got near the 30-yard line where it's going to be 2nd and only about 2 yards. Nice running by Zach Michael.
Well, that's a nice call by Coach Hale and his offensive group because that was a run all the way. What they did is they put him in the gun, dropped him back 2 steps as a set, ran the receivers off, therefore ran the DBs out of there, and then Zach Michael was going to take off. It was a designed quarterback. It's really a quarterback draw without a lead. You're just running the receivers off.
2nd down, they're going to say only 1 yard to go to move the chains once again, and a minute 26 left. There you see Zach Michael with Coach Hale, and they've been able to do pretty much whatever they designed to do. They've been able to execute.
Well, Central's they've got 2 objectives here. They cannot give up a touchdown here. That cannot happen, number 1. And secondly, when they go into halftime, Coach Dempsey's one of the best in the business at making adjustments, always has been. They've got to make adjustments defensively because they got to start taking something away from this Olentangy team, and they haven't really taken anything away. As you said, Todd, they've kind of been able to do what they want to do tonight.
Short drop, and then just at the feet of his intended receiver, Eggleston can't come up with it. And that's the beauty of when you've got a 2nd and 1 yard. You
Right.
can try something and know you can come back.
Well, in the second half, Todd, they're going to have to decide what are we being hurt most by? What's hurt us the most? If it's the run and the option run and the run, then all right, we're gonna put more people in the box and try and take the run away. If you think it's the pass, then then we'll play pass. But you've got to start taking something away because they pretty much had their way with the play calling here in the first half.
3rd down play, only 1 yard to go. Again, we see that offset eye with the shotgun for Zach Michael, and then offsides, they're going to give the automatic first down as racing across with Central. And that's the last thing you need when you're trying to make a stand is give them the first down. And worse yet, you do so and no time comes off the clock.
Well, yeah, that's absolutely correct. You give credit again to Olentangy. It's a good call by their offensive coordinator. Try and draw them off, and now you got to look at the clock and you got to realize what your situation is. There's 1:22 on the clock. Olentangy's going to take some shots into the end zone here. They realize what a touchdown means, so you've got to understand that if you're Central Catholic and not allow that to occur.
Eggleston's in motion, and he's got no one on him rolling out. Zach Michael found him. That play has been open. It doesn't matter who runs it, whether it's Molina or Eggleston. Eggleston picks up yardage down to about the 15-yard line.
Eggleston is a good little ball player. He runs that little Pittsburgh Steeler trap up inside. He gets out on the corner here in a quick swing. And give Zach Michael credit. That ball is getting in and out of his hands very quickly.
Whoever comes in motion, nobody just seems to be picking them up from Central. I mean, you can tell as he started to break, there was no one picking them up.
I think it's the formations have made Central Catholic watch instead of react. And in defense, you've just got to react.
They got the first down. Now Michael rolls out to his left. Here comes the pressure. Dumps it off. Almost knocked away. Lust puts it away. Tries the corner. Gets stood up. Still pushes. Right near the goal line. Pushed out of bounds with 1:06 left to go. And how about that determination by Lust?
Well, that play, Clay Lust has run this. Now watch this. He slips out of the backfield. It's an old Bill Walsh San Francisco 49er play, actually. The quarterback rolls left. The Lust looks like he's going to block, and he slips out underneath the linebacker, out into the flat. But once he catches that ball, he's a big, strong man going north-south, and he's very difficult to bring down.
The ball's just inside the 1-yard line with 1:06 to go. 1st and goal to go. Tight formation. Hands it off. And Lust spins his way in for the touchdown, and just what you said could not happen suddenly unfolds right in front of Central. Find themselves down 23-7 with the PAT upcoming.
Well, Clay Lust, you've got to give credit when you're in the playoffs and somebody. This is a great Central Catholic football team, and they've been kind of handled in the first half. And when somebody does that to a great football team, you have to tip your hat to them and say, scheme-wise, you've done a nice job. Play calling, you've done a nice job. And you know what? You have some guys darn good players, too.
Yeah, they do. And they've used a lot of them because I've been trying to keep track of the offensive players that have come in, and there's been a lot of different numbers on the field for Olentangy and Liberty, and they now push this up to a 24-7 lead on the touchdown by Lust. They've got a minute left to go in the first half on BCSN. Well, guys, you see the score right there with 1:03 left to go before the half.
Yeah,
Central's going to get the ball back.
And don't adjust your TV set. That's not. Somebody looking at that would say that's got to be wrong.
They inverted the scores.
It should be the other way around, and we're looking at that, kind of thinking the same thing. And you have to tip your hat to Olentangy, Todd. They have come out with a terrific game plan. They've got excellent players, and kind of caught Central Catholic a little off balance.
And we talked about the difficult division they play in. As you see, the kickoff is going to be bobbled in the end zone. And that's kind of right there in a microcosm of the first half summarized for Central Catholic. But for Liberty, they have played, all season long, they have had they never really have a respite. They played one difficult team after another, which does prepare you for a playoff situation.
No question. And again, we've said it over and over, and not, it's just something that if you're around playoff football, you know it. If you're playing somebody that's qualified for the playoffs, they're a pretty good football team.
Well, for the 4th time in this half, they start their own 20-yard line. Bonner's going to hand it off to Morrow. And he falls forward for a couple of yards, and we're under 1 minute to go.
Well, I think Coach Dempson, I'd be surprised. I think Coach Dempson, their outstanding offensive coordinator, Coach Phil, as you get a look at Mike Morrow, are going to say, hey, let's just get out of here alive with the 47 seconds left. Let's not do anything to cause ourselves an issue here, and again, make adjustments, because Coach Dempsey's as good as there is in the game at making adjustments.
Pick rolls the front back instead, rolling back, has some time in the pocket, steps up, throws, and that was a dangerous one. It took a hop right in front of the linebacker, incomplete. Third down and 8.
Yeah, I have not seen Central look discombobulated like this on offense, and the reason that is because they haven't had many snaps, because the Patriots have controlled the time of possession, have far exceed the number of snaps, and the offense is sitting on the bench, and you lose that continuity.
There's Morrow pushing his way forward. He'll be shy of the first down. Well, just look at the last 3 drives, Tom, for Liberty. I mean, they had 4 first downs in their last touchdown drive, 3 on the field goal, and then 5 first downs on the touchdown drive before that.
Yeah. Offense is taught as a feeling, and if you're not getting the snaps, then you don't generate that feeling. Central's offense has been standing on the sideline more than they've been out on the field.
That's going to be the conclusion of the first half. We've got the Oregon City Schools halftime show coming up. It is 24-7. The Pats on top of the Irish on BCSN. It is the Oregon City Schools halftime show, and not the score we were thinking we would see at the half, as Olentangy Liberty Patriots up by 24-7 score. Tom, let's go back and look at those highlights. Most of them are going to be the Patriots.
Yeah, the Patriots, I think it's really a credit to their accolades to their offensive coordinator and the play calling and the sets. You get a little dose of number 9, Mike Morrow, who has done his usual yeoman's job, but Central has not been in sync offensively because they haven't get a little field goal attempt here, haven't gotten enough snaps because Olentangy has possessed the ball and dominated the snaps. Whitner on the edge with his speed, and that's just a sheer fact of a guy being that quick. They were afraid of Cameron Whitner's speed, and he's a very good back.
You can see why.
Olentangy gets so many people involved in their offense. They're a lot like Central Catholic. Central's one of their strong points. We're getting so many people involved. Well, they haven't done that tonight, but Olentangy has.
And this is the regional bracket you see being played out right now between Central and Liberty. What everybody's looking for is Central to move forward, because drop down 2 brackets and you see Southview. Well, they are playing tonight, and people would love to see Central and Southview.
There's you're dealing with, you deal with 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, and you get everybody in town talking about when Central Catholic and Southview meet. Well, you know what? You've got to play the people to get there, and so far it hasn't worked out real well.
Well, there's another half yet to play, so we'll see what Central has come up with in the locker room. It is at the half, 24-7. Olentangy Liberty on top of Central Catholic right here on BCSN.
Olentangy kind of did what they wanted to do. Normally you can say, let's take the run away or let's take the pass away, but they did both. So I guess what I would do defensively is I would come after the quarterback. I would send some pressure against Zach Michael, who had a very good first half, very productive first half. I try to knock him down, get in his face, cause a fumble, pick off a pass or 2. I'm going after him. I guess that's where I would start, and really try to knock him down a little bit in the second half and pressure him into making some mistakes. That would be the place that I would go.
Then offensively for Central, their one big drive was when they kept feeding it to Morrow. They got away from that, and really the passing game has been closed down by the Patriots.
Well, the Pepsi hot dog guys, I heard, Dave isn't hitting the receivers. Well, we're up here. We have a great vantage point, and we've watched the Central pass routes, and it's less Dave not throwing well, Wallander, and more Olentangy's been covering the receivers. I mean, there really haven't been people running free in the secondary, so the Central receivers have to do a little bit better job of creating space so Dave has an opportunity to give him the football.
It's hard to pick up 17 points then when you're just continually running the ball.
Yep, and look for Olentangy. I mean, they're saying they haven't stopped us, so we're going to run our offense. We're going to run our offense.
Well, Zach Michael on first down Drops it off into the flat. He's got Eggleston, and Eggleston still on his feet, still moving. That was covered nicely defensively.
Yeah, better coverage.
A 2-yard pickup, 2nd and 8.
Well, Olentangy, the Patriots run these little swing passes that actually Paul Brown with Cincinnati Bengals made famous, and Bill Walsh picked it up with the 49ers. They're long handoffs is all they are. It's just a side swing to the back. But Olentangy times them out very well. I mean, the ball gets out of the quarterback's hand quickly, and the back turns his shoulders up, and it's a nice little game.
Molina's in motion. They give the handoff in the opposite direction. First down and a whole lot more for Lust. He's up near midfield at the 45-yard line as he just rolled up 20 quick yards.
Well, Clay Lust has an interesting running style. You know, for a big man, you get a good look at him. He just looks like an oak tree in cleats to me. He runs real straight up. You know, for a running back, watch him run. He runs kind of straight up and down. So he's a real straight up and down runner. Now, when he goes to the next level, if he wants to play running back and play on Saturdays in college, he's going to have to get down because they'll saw him up. He's running too straight up and down. But he's a big kid.
Molina's in motion again. Triples on the left side. That pass is knocked up in the air, and Molina came back, tried to get it. Could not do so, but that play was broken up by the linebacker, Kevin Williams.
Yeah, Kevin did a nice job, and that's the kind of play. You get a good look at Kevin there, 54. That's the kind of play that Central Catholic's going to need to get back into this game. Tip pass, interception, fumble, something to change the paradigm of what's going on, because the paradigm in the first half, for the most part, was all about the Olentangy Patriots.
2nd and 10. 2 wideouts on the left side. One running back behind Zach Michael, and he does hand it off. That's Eggleston. Eggleston has the first down and a whole lot more. Turns on the afterburner, spun down inside the 30 at the 29-yard line, and that's another big gainer.
Well, you've got to give, Alan Eggleston, the Eggman, they're just running a little, it's an off-tackle play, and really there's nobody there. There's not even anybody at the point of attack. They're doubling down on the tackle, kicking out in the end, and they didn't even have to kick out. Their running game tonight has been superb, and their play column for Olentangy has been excellent.
On this drive, 2 runs, both of over 20 yards. Hands it off. That is Lust. He gets slowed down, then Pickrell finishes him off after about a 2-yard pickup.
I really think, Todd, that this different type of spread offense, and hopefully the folks at home are picking up the nuance here. It's a spread, but the shotgun, but you have, for the most night, they've had a fullback and tailback back there with the quarterback and an offset eye. That's a different spread, and it's a different look. And I think now they broke the eye this time and went with trips, but I think it's caused Central some problems.
2nd down and long. Michael looking to his left, looking that entire way, finds his receiver Eggleston. He tries to spin towards the first down. He'll have a 3rd and short.
And the other thing that we have to give props to is what made Central so great this year, undefeated, city champs, perfect record, is they got so many people involved in their offense. Because you didn't know who to shut down.
Yes.
Do you shut down Wallander? Do you shut down Bates? Do you shut down Rogers, Morrow? Well, Olentangy does the same thing.
Yeah.
They've got 4 or 5 offensive weapons that you don't know where to start.
There's the spread and the pitch. That's Lust. He's going for the corner. He's got the first down, and he'll be up inside the 10-yard line before he's brought down. We talked about Morrow, and Morrow just keeps getting better and better as the more times you give him. We see the same thing with Lust. He's getting stronger and stronger.
Well, they ran the speed option with Clay Lust, number 18, and they list him at 215 in the program. I'll tell you what.
It's a solid 215.
Yeah, see, there's a speed option. And then Clay does the right thing. He gets his shoulders finally square. See, when he gets his shoulders square, then he brings that power. And he's a bit bigger than 215.
Whitner was in motion. Now his brother Cameron in motion. They give the handoff to Cameron. He's going for the sideline. Makes a little move. He gets brought down to the 5-yard line. That was nice coverage as they strung that one out. Good defense.
Central defense did a nice job there. And I think the coaches will tell Cameron that just run for the edge. He's still looking here to run a little deke move back inside. Right there? Don't do that. Just run for the edge. Cameron's so quick that...
trust your speed.
Yep. Trust your speed. That's a better way to put it. And credit Central defense. They covered it very well.
2nd down and 5. The ball is just outside the 5-yard line. Hash mark on the right side. Michael gives it to Lust. He gets stood up and then run down. He'll actually lose about a yard on that carry, make it 3rd and goal from probably the 7-yard line. And that is going to be a big victory for them if they can keep Olentangy and Liberty from punching this into the end zone and pulled into a field goal attempt.
Well, the problem with this, Todd, is we're down to 7:48 in the clock again.
Yeah.
They possess, the same thing they had in the first half. They're taking all this time. They're getting all the snaps. The Central offense is just cold sitting on the bench. I mean, this is hurt.
Michael cuts it inside. Had an opening for a moment, then they spin him down, and that will bring up 4th down. So Morrow stops him at the 6-yard line. It's going to be 4th and goal from the 7-yard line.
It's just the amount of time that Olentangy is taking up. They're running that speed option again, and Zach just actually, he was probably told by his coach that the pitch isn't there. You just keep it, ball security. We'll get the field goal and move on, and that's exactly what Zach did. To credit the Central defense, they did come up with a stop.
And they are going to try the field goal. Henderly, he's already tacked 1 on. And this would make it a 3 scores, and it is good. So Central has their work cut out for them. 6:48 to go in the 3rd, down by 3 scores, 27-20 on BCSN. We've got 6:48 left to go in the 3rd quarter, and now it's time we have to see. We talked about what they're going to do on offense. We're going to find out in a few moments as they get the ball back. But you're right. I mean, there's already a big chunk of time off the clock on that one drive. You look at the first downs that continue to mount. By my count, I've only got 3 first downs for Central.
Yeah, and again, we mentioned it again and again. Offense is rhythm and continuity, and when you're not on the field, you don't have any rhythm and you don't have any continuity.
Well, Henderly has just drilled another one into the end zone.
We should give 27 Henderly some props. We watched him, and you mentioned prior to the game how well he hits the football. He's a nice weapon for them as their head coach gives him a little way to go there, guy.
You look at the number of times that they started at 28. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times they've started at 20 yards because Henderly has kicked it into the end zone. You don't even get to use your weapons like McIntosh and Messer.
Yep, no question. And Central really, if you're going to make a quick drive, now's the time to get on the board and get this thing going for Central Catholic.
2 wideouts on the right side. Rolling back is Wallander. He's got some time. Throws it. He's got Bates. And Bates makes the connection on the 27-yard line. So it's going to be 2nd and about 3 yards to go.
Well, and what Central Catholic, I think, Todd needs to be doing here is getting in and out of the huddle quickly. Little ball fake by Dave Wallander, a little 10-8 sideline, come backer to the ball. But get in and out of the huddle quickly, get more plays. Let's get this thing moving faster because you got to get up tempo because you got to score a lot of points.
Henderson in motion. They give to Morrow. Morrow tries to force his way forward, but he was stood up, wrapped up, and brought down right away. He'll actually lose a yard, making it now 3rd down and 4 yards to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a matter of running a 2-minute offense, which wouldn't be opposed to, but you got to get in and out of the huddle fast. Let's get the plays going. Let's get up there expeditiously here. Let's get this thing going because the clock is running. We're down to 6:17.
And they have to pick up a 1st down here. 3rd down. And they say 3 yards. Wallander has time across the middle, looking for Hobbs, and Hobbs could not make the connection. Again, it was just a little bit behind Hobbs.
Yep.
Which brings up 4th down and another kicking situation for Central Catholic.
And we can tell you too that Nate's not playing at 100% tonight. He's hurt, and you can kind of tell that he's just the way he's moving that he's not himself. He would have caught that, and also that shot is a good indicator of the coverage. You must credit Olentangy. They have covered for the most part the Central routes very well.
And Whitner's going to let it bounce in front of him. And it takes a very fortuitous bounce for Central up inside the 35-yard line to about the 33-yard line. And back on offense will go Liberty one more time. Hey, you get to see the local games on BCSN 24 hours a day, but what about the student athletes and the coaches that make it all happen? Join my partner Tom Cole, the coach, on Sports Wrap every Monday at 11 p.m. and hear about the local players themselves. From Hall of Fame coaches to state champions, Sports Wrap shines a spotlight on the outstanding individuals that fill your TV screen on BCSN each and every day. On the first down play, hands it right back inside, and nice defensive play. Again, the linebacking core comes up big, stops that for maybe about a foot pickup.
Yeah, and Todd, you know, the Olentangy Liberty Patriots here, they're in no hurry. They're in the opposite mode the Central is. They can mosey in and out of the huddle, take their time. They're going to chew a little clock. You're down to 5:30. They're content to, at this point in time, kind of meander around out there. They're certainly in no quick pace offense.
Here comes some pressure as the blitz was coming. They move the line back, but the connection is made, but dropped very quickly as that was a nice open field tackle made by Kyle Roberts. Not much of a pickup there, so it's going to be 3rd and long, but we've seen the Patriots on 3rd and long come up with the big plays time and again tonight.
Yeah, this little 5-3 sideline, and watch Kyle Roberts close. I mean, that's a textbook close. If you're going to teach a defensive back to close out a receiver, Kyle Roberts 29, that's how you do it. I mean, he wrapped him up, didn't try to block him down like a lot of the kids do today. I mean, that's a first-class hard-nosed tackle.
3rd down, 8 yards to go. Eggleston is in motion. Flag comes down, and it's not going to be 3rd and even longer. 3rd and 13. Because we'll see officially what the call is. Offsides. Nope, they're going to say it's against Central. Normally, once the play starts to roll, you assume it's going to be against the offense. So instead of 3rd and 8, it's now 3rd and 3, and Central has hurt themselves twice now with third down opportunities with the penalties.
The officiating crew's done a nice job. You haven't noticed them, you know, really. Yeah, I mean, they let the game flow. Been a couple of calls and then two offsides and an interference, but other than that, it's been, you know, a real nice flow to the ball game. The crew's done a really good job.
3rd and 3 again. Michael from the shotgun. Again, we have pressure as Michael hands it off, and it's going to be a 1st down as they bull their way forward. So what was 3rd and 8, make it 3rd and 3, and that's very doable especially for this offense.
Well, I would think that you would look to, again, they're running a boom off tackle out of it's an unusual formation. It's a spread, shotgun, offset I formation. They're running a boom off tackle, which means they're doubling down the defensive tackle and kicking out the end, and they lead block up inside there. But from the spread, it's an unusual look, and it has caused Central problems. So you get a look at the I formation there. It's an offset I out of the spread. 2 backs back there with the quarterback.
Lead is in motion again. They're going to hand it off. First back through is Lust. And he just pushes his way through up right to midfield.
Yep. And Clay Lust, again, he's been an effective weapon tonight. They've got 4 or 5 offensive players here. They were trying to run a quick trap. That quick trap, but as you see 54 in white, Lust beat the trapper to the hole. The trapper didn't even get a chance to make the block. That's how quick that Lust was up into the hole.
2nd and 7. Whitney brothers split out on either side. Michael hands it off to the only back behind him. Nice move by Eggleston, but it was closed down in a hurry. He picked up maybe 2. It's going to be 3rd down and probably 3 yards to go again.
Well, the 8-man can run the football. Right? You know, he's got a little bit of a fire hydrant kind of running style. He's low to the ground. He's got good balance, and he gets in behind those big guys in the white shirts, the big, fat, ugly guys up there, and you can't find them. I mean, you know, you got to separate them. And they also run that, they run in that quick trap. It's a zero trap. It's right over the center. And that quick trap has been effective tonight for Olentangy.
3rd down. Central needs a stop right here as Olentangy once again is in their territory. Michael keeps it. He gets hit. Falls forward. He will be shy of the 1st down. Good defensive effort as they will force the punting situation. But again, on that drive, another 3 minutes taken off.
And that's a big-time hit. Oh, boy. So, Mom, you want your son to play quarterback. That's what you're going to watch on Friday night. You know, people always see the quarterbacks a glamour position, but I want to tell you what, they always picture the quarterbacks as being softer, not quite as tough as the tough guys in football. Believe me, you take some serious shots playing quarterback. That was a big time hit.
Well, in that play,
15.
he took that first initial hit and then absorbed 2 more afterwards.
That's a big time hit.
The clock winds down to under 2 minutes to go in the third. That one is down low. The kick is off. Just did get it off. It's going to bounce in front of Messer. He's going to let it go all the way back, and it does go into the end zone. And that almost was finding Central almost down at their 1 or 2 yard line. So that was finally a break for Central.
That was a mistake on the Patriots special teams. They should have they were down there in plenty of time. They should have downed that ball inside the 5 yard line, actually. And Central was fortunate that they didn't do that.
Once again, they start their 20 yard line, and the last 4 times they've had a possession, they've been 3 and out. They need to pick up some first downs and move up the field quickly. From the shotgun, Wallander, he's got a lot of time. And he had an open man and just couldn't make the connection. One of the few times he had an open receiver in Cushell. And it was behind him. Cushell went backwards trying to get it. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it's been awkward to watch offensively tonight for Central. We're so used to seeing them being so proficient and efficient with the ball, running, throwing. Their offense has been sensational this year.
Absolutely.
And it's been awkward tonight, and you have to credit Olentangy. I think they've made that.
Trips on the right, going to the sideline. Got Messer. Messer going to have the first down at the 32 yard line. And that was right there. That was a big play just for confidence for the offense.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to move the chains pretty quick. This is a levels pass. They have 1 man short. You see Hobbs is short and Messer's a little bit deeper. And it's called a levels pass. And Dave gets it out there, and it's a conclusion.
Now we're going to see trips on the left side. Wallander looks that way. Gets a little pressure. Rolls out, but it was covered well, wrapped up, and he'll be sacked for a loss of about 5 yards.
Well, the issue here is, again, people are saying, well, why doesn't Dave let go of the ball? The reason he's not letting go of the ball is because the receivers, he's looking left. His first 2 receivers are covered. He's got to hang on to the ball. He's getting pressure on the edge, and there's no place to go with it. He's not hanging on to it intentionally. There just isn't anybody open.
Guilty and Kennedy on the sack. Going deep, that's going to be picked off by the linebacker moving in. And that was picked off by Jake McGarry.
Well, if you can see what we're seeing up here, I've got to tell you, the passing game tonight for Central guys have not been open. I mean, you've got to tip your hat to Olentangy. The coverage has been there. Nate, the natural, Hobbs really had 3 guys on him at that point in time. I mean, the coverage has been very good, and sometimes you have to tip your hat to the other guy and say, geez, you did a nice job. You've taken some of our routes away.
So once again, Liberty starts inside Central territory. A little movement. Flag's going to come out. 5 more yards the other way. And this is where I'm sure you're starting to see some of the frustration by
Absolutely.
Central.
Well, what happens to you, Todd, is the Central Catholic team. I mean, this championship team, undefeated team, great coaches. They've had you don't go to undefeated in football. I mean, I'm telling you, it just doesn't happen to many people on any level. They've gone undefeated, they win the city, they get in the playoffs, and now all those great things, it's like the air in a balloon is just, with 56 seconds, is starting to seep out of the balloon, and people get disappointed, and somebody's got to make a play real quick.
1st and 5 after the penalty. And they got maybe a couple of yards on the run play. Out in this direction. 2nd and short. The clock's going to continue to run as we're getting close to closing out this 3rd quarter. And a very impressive first 3 quarters for the visitors.
Yep. So the play calling, I'm sorry, Todd, the play calling for Olentangy tonight has been excellent. The quarterback for Olentangy has been better than advertised.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you've got to credit the young man who's made plays.
They spread the offense once more. Again, looking from that offset eye from the shotgun. Molina's in motion. Give the handoff right away, and they were very careful to make sure they made the connection. And up near the 30, I believe it'll be enough for the first down. Charlie Lust paying a price for it, make it Eggleston. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter as well. It was Clay Lust on the carry for the first quarter. So we've got the fourth quarter coming up. The Patriots on top, 27-7 on BCSN. Get ready to start the fourth quarter. Olentangy Liberty threatening one more time, already up by 20 points. And Central can ill afford to give up any more points, and they need to get the ball back as well. And Tom, this really could have been a different game.
Yep.
Central tied the game at 7. 2 turnovers they forced on 2 drives. They had a chance. They got the ball back at the 20-some-yard line, couldn't get points. And after that, it has been all Olentangy Liberty.
You're so right about that, Todd. That's the oddity of football. 3 or 4 plays here or there that you don't make, that the opposition does make, and then suddenly you're looking at a 27-7 game. Somebody will look at that score and go, well, it wasn't a game. That's not true. It was just a couple plays here and there.
There's Whitner, and that was covered well. What a great open field tackle by Messer. That actually took Whitner for a loss, and I bet there's not been very many plays this season where Whitner's been held to a loss.
Zach Messer is just, what he is? He's old school, hard hat, lunch pail, fundamental, high top cleats. You watch him come up and make a tackle on a guy who is a terrific runner, and you see, he just brings him down, old school, doesn't let go. He's a solid football player. He really is. Zach does a great job.
That lion dragging down the gazelle. He was not going to let go. Flag comes out, and that's presumably, it's going to be against Patriots for legal procedure.
And this is a great crew here tonight, but Coach Dempsey was working the stripers a few minutes ago about they missed a procedure call on Olentangy. Looked like Canadian football. One of their motion backs was going forward before the snap, and they missed it. Demps went out and started working the striper, and now we got a get back call. And hey, they're human beings. That's how it works. You work them a little bit, and you get a call.
2nd and 17, and they are well out of field goal range at this point. And this is, again, Central needs to shut down these next 2 plays. And there was a nice draw play, but not a whole lot out of it. Good defensive coverage as Morrow was right there to drag down the runner Eggleston.
I got to tell you, I really haven't you been impressed with the play calling and the attack, the way that Olentangy has gone about this. Up here, you're feeling like you're off balance, because we're up here looking at what are they going to do, and is it speed option, is it fullback trap, is it the pass game, is it a draw, is it the reverse? Well, if we're doing that, what do you think the guys down in the field are doing? Because we've got a great view up here, and we're not being hit.
Rolling out to his right. Here comes the pressure. Great block on Morrow. That buys time. Puts the ball towards the sideline and just throws it away. But a wonderful block on Morrow bought him the time. It's not going to bring up 4th down. 4th and 20. With 10:08 left to go. Central will get the football back.
Well, sometimes the most important pass that you have from the quarterback position is the one that you don't try to complete. And it's the toughest thing to teach quarterbacks, when to intelligently throw the ball away. You don't have a play. Don't make a bad play. Just throw it up into the cheap seats, hit somebody with a Pepsi and a hot dog, and live to fight another day. And that's what Michael did there.
There comes the pressure. And Hunt's going to go out of bounds.
He almost got the tuba player in the band. That looked like a bad 9-iron going off to the side.
Not the punt they wanted, as the official keeps walking up the field. It's going to be up near the 30-yard line, so that was a net gain of maybe 7 yards on that punt.
Well, there is no tomorrow now. To me, you are in a 2-minute offense now. You're up, you're calling plays, and you got to just go into a lightning strike offense, and you got to get off a number of snaps. You get 10 minutes, and you're down 27-7.
Which is unfortunate because it really takes Morrow basically out of your offense.
It does, other than use him to pick up on the pass game.
Hollander has pressure coming, drops it off. Wrapped up right away was Henderson. He still tries to push himself forward. He picked up maybe 3 yards. That's Pickrell.
Well, you're going to have to, and it has not been there tonight, and maybe part of that is because Nate the Natural Hobbs is not 100%. He is not himself. You can tell that he's not himself. Eric Bates, who's a great receiver, hasn't gotten deep. They haven't really gotten anybody behind the Patriots tonight. They need to do that.
The handoff side, and nothing's happening there. In fact, they might lose yardage.
They tried to get old Pick on that quick Pittsburgh Steelers trap, but Olentangy played anti-trap, and they just shut it down.
The fans getting a little restless as well as they watch the clock continue to run after that running play, reaching 9 minutes.
You know, the fans have to understand, Central Catholic football team and coaches have treated them to a phenomenal football season. So there should be no complaints anyplace.
Wallander, he's got pressure from the backside, gets the pass off, and it's going to be a first down with a nice rolling catch. Grabbed in by Bates.
Boy, Dave Wallander, you talk about some, they call it having class in the pocket. And class in the pocket means from a quarterback position that you're willing to stand in, take the hit when you know it's coming, and deliver the ball. See, Dave saw that he knew the hit was coming, but he stood in there and waited till Eric Bates got open and delivered the football. That's class in the pocket right there.
They move the chains. Wallander, again, lots of time in the pocket. He rolls out to the right. Now he's got some problems. He's going to tuck it away and run. He'll get like 4 yards before he gets leveled. And he got stung pretty good. A linebacker coming in, Shea Baker, one of the better tacklers.
Dave Wallander is an outstanding quarterback who's going to keep getting better and better and better. He has just done a terrific job.
He picked up 4 yards on that one, so it's 2nd and 6. Under center this time, the I formation. Play action. And climbing over the top of Michelle was the defender Whitner, as that ball was down at the feet of the intended receiver.
Well, and Dave threw it at the feet. A, he was being pressured. See some pressure come in late up the middle. And B, it's a good thing Dave threw it low because they had jumped the route again. There's been a lot of jumping routes tonight where Olentangy's read the route and they jump it. And when people jump routes, you've got to sideline it up, hitch and go, curl and go, but you got to take them deep.
3rd down, 6 yards to go. Wallander looks to his right, throws that way. For the sideline, Bates has it spin off his hands. Incomplete.
Well, that's the way the night has gone. If you could freeze frame that and run that back, Eric Bates is a great receiver. He catches this in his sleep and, goes through his hands. You got to, Eric could be the first person to tell you he's got to make that catch.
4th down and 6, and of course Central does have to go for it. With the clock now down to 8 minutes and 7 seconds. Triples on the right. Wallander from the shotgun. He throws across the middle, has a man open. Hobbs gets hit right before the reception. And that was timed perfectly by the defensive back, Ben Roush. And Ben Roush has had a couple of huge plays.
Well, Big Ben, what he did is he read the seam. They were running a seam post, and Dave had him, and Ben read it, and again, he jumped the route. Credit Olentangy's defensive back coach because they have been jumping routes all night long. And again, by jumping routes, I mean you recognize the route and then you get in the route. And that's what the Olentangy kids have done on defense. They've jumped the routes tonight.
So Olentangy takes over on downs, inside Central territory at their own 47-yard line. Michael hands it off. Well, I'm not sure who that was. That might have been Jason Whitner.
All Olentangy's going to do here, Todd, is they're going to ground chuck. They're going to run it. They're going to eat clock. It's down to 7:45 and counting. And as this winds down, again, there shouldn't be anybody disappointed with the Central Catholic season.
Absolutely not.
They have had themselves a phenomenal season.
And they have been so much fun to watch in the games that we've been
privileged to watch them.
Absolutely correct.
10-0, city champs, great coaches, great staff, great kids, and we've been privileged to have some of them on our shows, Sports Rap and a number of other shows. And we've interviewed them, and real gentlemen. I mean, team kids doing it the right way in the classroom and in the community. And so there shouldn't be anybody, really with a long face at the end of this. I mean, they just came up against a good football team that executed very well tonight. And you have to tip your hat to the team when they do.
You're absolutely correct. 3rd down and 4 yards to go. Olentangy and Liberty. Clock has wound down to under 7 minutes. Stay with us because we'll be announcing the Val's big play of the game coming up, and also National City Player of the Game. As we draw closer to the conclusion. Right now, Central would like to put a stop here and get that football back. And they're moving the clock down. It was at 6:40. Then I'm moving it down to 6:35. Off tackle inside the 40-yard line. That's going to make it 4th down and about 2 yards to go. But again, more time will wind off the clock.
Well, again, if we went back and looked at the number of snaps that the Olentangy Liberty Patriots have had tonight, plus the time of possession, it just seems like, and it has a feel that Central offensively never really had the ball enough to do anything with it. And I don't know if that's the Olentangy defense or that was just Central not being as sharp as they normally are, or having some injuries, which they, and that's not an excuse. That's just, they do have some people that are nicked up, and they haven't been themselves offensively.
Messner's going to take it at 10 if he can get the corner. What a great play on special teams, because it looked like Messner had a lot of open field in front of him. But a great special teams play to drag him down at the 15-yard line.
I'll tell you one thing, Todd, this Olentangy team has a lot more speed than I realized. I mean, they have a lot of guys that can run. They can run on special teams. They have a lot of quick backs. Quarterback's got decent feet. They have a lot more team speed than we initially thought.
So Central's going to start their own 15-yard line. Two wideouts on the right side. Wander looks across the middle. Now he steps up into the pocket, throws it across the middle. That was almost picked off as well, as it was well in front of Cushell.
Yeah. Well, this won't be a game that Dave Wallander will be thrilled with, but I tell you what, he has played some great football this year.
Truly has. That was Shea Baker. Almost came out the pick.
And if it can happen to Brett Favre and those guys, when you play quarterback, you're going to have nights like that. And a lot of it has to do with getting some pressure, and B, there haven't been people running free in the secondary. I mean, they're just covered. I mean, you can see it from up here.
Wander drops back, looking toward the sideline, and that's going to be picked off as well as Nate Hobbs tried to make a valiant effort to break it up. It's going to be picked off by Cale Kaverick. Kaverick, again, he's one of the star players on the defense for this Patriots team. He pads his stats with a reception on the 30-yard line.
In that situation, you're just putting it up because you're trying to make a play. You know that it's not, it's covered. Dave knows it's covered, but when the clock's running down like that, you've got limited options. You got to put it up and hope your guy can make a play.
So for the third time in a row, possession starts for the Patriots inside Central territory. And that's Sequest, who gets a couple before he's brought down, maybe only one. But again, as you said, all they care about is run the play and let the clock keep going.
They're just going to grind clock, and that's why it's why the high school football playoffs are so tremendous, because you don't know. You really don't know. You have to show up and you have to play every Friday or Saturday, and everybody is good. We had this conversation before the ball game, and everybody's good. You don't get here unless you're good. So it's an interesting thing.
They played in the Cardinal division of their conference, and they're in a three-way tie for first. And you can see there definitely some good teams. If they finish tied for first, there's a lot of good teams in that Cardinal division.
People don't understand how hard it is to win a playoff game. When I was first started at St. John's, the playoffs really just started. We tried 3 or 4 times to win we get to the playoffs, but we couldn't win a game. People say, "What's wrong with you?" Well, we're playing some really good teams. It wasn't that we were playing badly. It just
we didn't suddenly become a bad team.
No, and it took us 3 or 4 times in the playoffs to understand what it took to win there, and it's not easy.
There's the pitch. Eggleston has a lot of running room. Cuts it through. You see that speed. He's going to get himself just shy. I thought he was going in. He's down at the 1-yard line with 4:03 to go. And again, you see the speed because it looked like there was 2 Central players there to converge. Split right through him.
Well, the Eggman can run. We've established that. It's a speed option. But credit Zach Michael on that, because he's running the speed option. And the key to that for the quarterback is you draw the defense to you. It's like being the point guard in basketball. You draw the defense to you. As soon as you draw it to him, then you make the quick pitch out in front to the Eggman. And what I like about Eggleston is he runs north-south. He's not a sideways guy.
Well, neither one of them really. They don't really have a sideways
They
guy.
want to get north-south, and an offense. That's a pretty cool thing that people run north-south.
Give Eggleston to get into the end zone, which he does. And that's going to make it now 33-7. Patriots increase their lead with 3:41 remaining. Eggleston came into this half 57 yards. He's going to be close to 100 yards. And a couple of touchdowns to boot.
Yeah, it's nice the coaches gave him an opportunity again, and he got you down there. And that's kind of the unwritten rule. And the guy gets you down there, you give him a shot, at least one shot to get him in.
Extra point is up, and that's good. 34-7 is the score in this playoff game. And we've got 3:41 left to go on BCSN. You're watching BCSN exclusively on the Buckeye Cable System. Remember, you can't get this with the dish. First week of the playoffs for Central Catholic. Only 34-7, and Tom, both these teams have lots of playoff experience. Of course, Central, we showed the highlights from their last 3 years, including the state championship. And for the Patriots, having made the playoffs 5 of the 6 years they've been in existence.
Well, that's why when people tell you they think they know what's going to happen in football.
Well, Messner's got himself free, trying to get outside. He's going to go up the sideline, and that's a nice return. That's a lot of running by Messner to pick up 44 yards.
Zach's a tough kid. He's going to play it out. You know, that's what you respect about number 3. Many things, a myriad of things, but obviously they're not going to win this ball game today. His head's not down. He's playing it out old-fashioned stiff arm, yeah. Trying to take it all the way, trying to do something for his team. That's old school football. That's a person that will never quit. But there's no quit on any of these kids down here. But no one would have predicted this and the outcome of this ball game, and that's why you play the games. And so very often we get caught up in this team's supposed to win. Well, you know what? You got to go out and play.
Hollander's in a heap of trouble. Somehow he gets himself free. He lobs it across and finds Bates, who gets the first down at the 36-yard line. That was determination by Wallander. We have seen him be so elusive in the games we've watched.
Dave has kind of a Houdini ability to I think they're saying maybe Dave was over the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball. Take a look.
But it was pretty anyway.
Yeah, let's see where he ends up throwing this ball. He's got a Houdini-esque kind of ability to escape. Does he get over that line? That's pretty close. But he can escape. You know, he can escape, buy time, make a play. Dave's got a whole human highlight film on escape from the quarterback position. He really has done it hasn't been his night tonight, but he's done a spectacular job this year.
So it's now 2nd down and 15. Two receivers on either side. Messner came inside, but the throw went outside, and it's now 3rd down.
Yeah, and Dave's gotten a lot of pressure in his face tonight. There's been pretty much every time he's thrown the football, there's been a white jersey in his face, and the pressure they brought, Todd, is up the middle. And nothing is more disconcerting to a quarterback than pressure directly in your face. You can deal with pressure off the edge because you can step up or step to the side away from it. But when it's coming up the middle, it changes your passing motion. And that's happened. Dave's dropped down and thrown a lot of sidearm tonight because of the pressure up the middle.
Quick pass into the flat. There's Nate Hobbs, and he gets tackled right away. We've seen a lot of good open field tackle tonight.
Yeah, and I don't know what the injury situation is with Nate. I know he was dinged up, but Nate doesn't look like himself tonight. He hasn't really created space to get open in the passing game, and when he hasn't really made anybody miss, which is really his calling card. He looks like he's struggling a little bit out there tonight. And he's a great player.
12 yards they have to pick up on this play to move the chains. They get it to Hobbs. Hobbs makes a nice spin move, goes for the sideline, and he'll be about 6 yards shy of the 1st down. So for the 2nd time this quarter, Central Catholic will turn it over on downs. And for one of the many times tonight, Patriots will start inside Central Territory. This will be the 4th time in a row.
Yep.
And the 5th time overall in the game.
Yeah, Nate just a terrific player. I mean, he really is a terrific player. He just doesn't look 100% to me tonight. They had mentioned that he was a little bit dinged up, and he just isn't running like he normally does.
One of the other things, Tom, is you go back to that first quarter, there was the opportunity for Central Catholic. Once they didn't convert after that turnover, and then Olentangy Liberty scored, built up a quick 10-point lead. All of a sudden, you saw Mike Morrow really
taking out
the game altogether early in the first half.
That's a salient point. That is a very large point, Todd, when you take him out of the offense, because you're suddenly in a situation of trying to play some catch up and throwing the ball downfield. Because there was a short period or juncture in the game where you felt like they were giving it to Mike and he was starting to take over inside, and then they never could get back to it. And it's too bad, because Mike was going to have a big night. You could see that he was headed toward a big night.
They lost 3 yards on that play, so it's 2nd and 13 back across the 50 in their own territory as the Patriots. And the handoff's going to be to Sequest. Sequest is going to lose a few more yards. The clock's going to wind down to about 1.5 minutes left in the football season for Central Catholic. And again, what a great season it has been. Enjoy the 10-0. Clock winds down to 1:25. Very briefly, we're revealing to you the Ballas big play of the day. And then, of course, letting you know who the National City player of the game is as well. 3rd down, 15 yards to go. Zach Michaels had himself an excellent game today. Hands the ball off. Heading for the sideline, brought down shy of the 50-yard line, so they will kick it away. Well, Tom, let's check out the Ballas big play of the game. It came early.
Dave Wallender's looking, trying to find somebody on a turnout, and boy, just all night long, closing on the ball, jumping the routes. Credit their DBs, Kale. Gaverick, closed on the ball, read the route. It's called jumping the route, and he was there, made the play, and we talked about it. That was kind of a paradigm switch right there, because if Central gets in there, I think we're looking at a different game. I'm not saying they win, but we're certainly looking at a more competitive game.
And it keeps the dynamics where Central wants it, where you still have Morrow as the central focal point of your offense. And from that point forward, that was gone. There's Sequest with a nice pickup, and just shy of the 1st down. And depending upon where they mark it, that should be the final play of the game. The clock has stopped.
1st and 10, Central Catholic.
They're going to say it is the 1st down, so they'll stop the clock. Nope, he did come up short, so it does stop on the turnover of possession as Central has back for one final play. But what we started to talk about was congratulations to Central Catholic, because they have had a brilliant season.
Yeah, I know people, they get upset and they have the expectation, but you can't, in football, you can't get too greedy. When you go 10-0 and you're perfect in the regular season and win the city championship, you know what? In my book, that's one heck of a football season.
Absolutely.
And you have to understand, when you get in the playoffs, everybody's good or they wouldn't be here, and you need to be a little fortunate and have some things go your way. And it's a different gig when you get to the playoffs.
And 4 City League championships as well. Let's check out the National City Player of the Game. And the National City Player of the Game, quarterback
Zach Michael, 15. We featured him in the Open, and the junior, 6'1", 170 pounds. Little San Francisco 49ers swing pattern out of the backfield, the lust. Little deeper corner, a 12-10 comeback. A nice play action fake on the belly option in the end zone. He led the team. He did everything they asked him to do. Short pass, medium range pass, ran the speed option, belly option, and he's got good feet. I mean, this young man is a very talented signal caller.
34-7, the visitors from Olentangy Liberty win against Central Catholic. Tom and I are coming back right here on BCSN. Well, Tom, Central Falls, which is discouraging for all these fans, but they came up against the steamroller of a team tonight.
Well, you know, we talked about it in the open, Todd. It's people are in the playoffs because they're good, and the people that say you're supposed to win don't actually put the pads on and go play. You've got to tip your hat to Olentangy Liberty. They had a good game plan. They are a multifaceted, very talented team, and I think Central just got caught in a bad paradigm switch early in the ball game that you talked about, and they couldn't escape it.
And for Liberty, I mean, they really did everything they wanted to do on offense, where conversely, Central got taken out of their offense right away and then couldn't get on track with their passing game.
Well, you asked the question when Central went into the locker room at halftime, because Coach Dempsey's the best, one of the best in the game at making adjustments, he and his staff. And he said, well, what adjustments do you make? Well, I don't know what you would take away from Olentangy because they pretty much did what they wanted to do, so it was very difficult to make adjustments. They pretty much were able to run, pass, do what they wanted to do tonight.
And then defensively, you had pointed out just how great the coverage was from the get-go for Liberty.
Yeah, Dave Wallander, I felt badly for him at the quarterback. He's been so spectacular for Central Catholic. And upstairs, you get that vantage point. So we're watching the routes and how they're being covered. Hey, guys and gals, there weren't too many people open tonight in the secondary for Central Catholic. And part of that is receivers must create space for a quarterback to deliver the football. Dave did not have many open receivers.
You talk about how important it was to get that early turnover. Central got the early turnover. In fact, back-to-back turnovers. They converted once. They couldn't make it pay the second time.
Yeah, and you appropriately called that, Todd. I think the second one, if they could have converted on that, would have changed the dynamic of the game. And I think the most important thing, you may have said earlier, Mike Morrow was taken out of the game when the score differential became higher. It basically took Mike out of the ball game, and that changed the dynamic also.
Because Mike looked like Mike Morrow that we expected. Yeah. He was really building, and you could see every carry getting stronger.
He was on task tonight for maybe a 200-yard rushing, 180, but they had to stop giving him the football because they got behind.
Final score is 34-7. Stay with us. Tom and I are coming right back on BCSN. All right, Central did lose tonight 34-7, but Tom, you cannot take away a fabulous season by Central, undefeated in the regular season. Great year.
Todd, I'm so glad you said that because people misunderstand football, I think, in a lot of respects. 10-0, perfect season, doesn't hardly ever happen. You win the city championship, class kids, great coaching staff, wonderful support from the student body.
Absolutely.
We've been privileged to do their games on BCSN, and everybody's going to end their season with a loss except the person that wins the state championship. So
you want to be that one, though.
Yeah, and it's tough, and I understand it, but there shouldn't be, you can be disappointed for a short period of time.
Right.
But when you go back to school on Monday, you get your head up and say, hey, we had a great team, we've got great coaches, great support by the student body. It was a wonderful football season.
Revel in what you did accomplish.
Absolutely.
Let's go back and look at some of the, you start really talking about the offense.
Yep.
The defense we'll talk about. The offense, you had that tandem running team. It became solo, but those are two great backs in Rogers and Morrow.
Well, yeah, they were wrecking balls, and we had the opportunity to watch them run the football, and both Brad and Mike are going to play D1, Alabama and Iowa. That's about as big as it gets, and they're great running backs. They had a tremendous offensive line, which we complemented, game in and game out. So the offense was terrific all year long.
And the defense, they held opponents to under 100 points coming into this game. They were shut down all season long.
Yeah, the defense, I thought their secondary was one of the best we've ever seen in the City League football. Their coverage was terrific. Their tackling was outstanding. And the linebacker position was certainly a pillar of strength for the Central Catholic Fighting Irish all season long.
Mr. Excitement Nate Hobbs all season long.
Well, Nate the Natural Hobbs, and he's back. And I'm sure in the offseason he'll get healthy. He'll work on a couple more earthquake shake moves, and we'll get to watch him on BCSN.
Final score 34-7. The winners coming from Liberty. For the entire crew of BCSN and for Tom Cole, I'm Todd Hofstetter. Thanks for joining us. You're watching BCSN exclusively in the Buckeye Cable System. Remember, you can't get this with the dish.